Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If this is your first time here, I'm a six-figure YouTuber who manages $2 million in assets from trucks to real estate in Detroit, Cleveland, and North Carolina, and actually Texas. Part of this show today was going to be super professional. I'm talking about top of the line because I actually have some speaking engagements where I'm main stage coming up. But I realize I have to use this moment as an educational moment. Some folks can't read. I know. Some folks don't understand stats. And so I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to deliver you from your delusion. I'm going to help you, brother. Don't worry. In my chat, someone said, yeah, 70% of babies are born out of wedlock. And I said, okay, you don't know stats. And I said, son, which I'm about to call him son. I hate to do him like that. 2 million babies are born a year. Black babies. It's around that number, 2 million. We can go look at the stats, Pew Stats right now, if you want. For the past 10 years, it's been 2 million. Been about 2 million. We have about 23 million African-American women who are over age of 18. So out of that number, that's 10% of the group having babies, right? And people go, 70% of Black women have kids. No, honey, no. No, honey. No, you don't understand stats. So out of 23 million of us, only 2 million of us had a baby this year, last year, the year before. So that means just 10% of us are having babies right now. Okay. Now there's crossover always, but let me go ahead and give you. So out of that 2 million that are born, 70% of those babies are born out of wedlock. So that puts it right back in the same number of only 36% of us are married. Now let me even go even further. If you go on blackdemographics.com, you have 5.6 million Black men married and 5.5 million Black women. There are about 200,000 more Black men married than Black women. So that's 10 million of us out of that pool of 45 mil. Okay. So I know you have this belief that no one's married. No one out here in society is married. We're all just having kids and entanglements. But no, that's just you. That's just you. That's just the community you live in. That's just the people you're around. Okay. So let's go ahead. Okay. Let's go ahead and get our calculators. Okay. Handy dandy calculators, because I know someone's going to come back and watch this video and say, Erica, that number was a little bit off. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I got a calculator out here. So out of 2 million, let's go 70%. So that's 1.4 million people. Yes. Babies born without marriage being the stronghold of the union of the parents, which is sad. You know why? Because every single stat in America for the last 40 years have shown that if you aren't married to that child's mother and live in the house with that child, it's pretty bad. I mean, from suicide, depression, crime, test scores, grades, reading levels, access to child abuse rates are very high when you don't live with that child and you're not married to the child's mother. So I just want to do that, right? So if there's only 45 million Black people, excuse me, sir. Correct yourself. Excuse me, sir. 46 million Black people. Let's go over to blackdemographics.com, because see, I know what's going to happen today. We're going to have people who are in their feelings because they cannot read. And I don't want you to be in your feelings. I only want to educate on this channel and bring good numbers and good facts. Okay. All right. So there's this wonderful website. It's really good. Let's bring it up, because even if I may have misspoke on one of my numbers, even if I most misspoke, it's still a 10% number of people having a baby. Okay, so let me go ahead and bring it up for you. All right, let's go ahead and share our screen, because I want to teach you. Okay, I don't want you out here representing me or people that look like me and you can't read. I don't want that. I want better for you. Okay, because you can be better. Now, many of you are out here quoting old stats that these people are giving you, and I don't want you out in these streets like that. There's a sweeping move. Now, there was a meme, and the meme is like, everybody claiming to be millionaires, but they ain't got no money. Now, sorry. Just because you don't know those people doesn't mean it isn't happening, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and share this really quickly because I feel it's my duty, my obligation. If I have a show and I bring you guys on, I don't want to give you the wrong data. And if I misspoke, which sometimes I misspeak on here, there's going to be some troll in the comments coming after me. Now, let's go ahead and get in these data stats, okay? Now, first things first, I'm going to address the ages. Anybody under 23 years old today is a Gen Z, okay? Anybody 23 years old to 39 years old is a millennial. So when you see the title of the video and it says that we have, these 44% of millennials are rich, how? Millennials are struggling. No. Listen, 23 to 39. Millennials are getting married in higher numbers, but they're not telling you it's older millennials. It's people 28 and up. It's people 32 and up. It's people 35 and up because they're millennials. They're older. Okay. Now, 40 to 59 is Generation X. Now, some of your most famous, and I'm not talking ugly, some of your most famous people out here in these different sectors of YouTube are in their Gen X generation. I mean, they are old enough they went to Freaknik, okay? But yet, they're out here telling you stuff. So let's get back to the show, okay? Just want to make sure that you guys have those numbers. Now, we're going to go to population. Now, let me be very clear. I absolutely believe 100% that Black people are probably closer to 60 million. I know, a conspiracy theory, watch out. Because we are never appropriately counted in any stats, and we have a massive migration of people moving from north to south, and I think it's messing up the numbers and the count. And then also, we have a huge number of African immigrants who have come into America and have been getting arrested by the thousands. So there's no way they can be doing the count of the numbers of how many African American people or Black people or people who qualify as Black are here. Even Northern Africans, I have 2 friends who are Egyptian, actually I have 4, who are Egyptian, and every one of them realized that they were marked down as white when they tried to go get their stuff for school done. So if you're from Northern Africa, many of you don't know this, you're marked down as white. So again, I think our numbers are off. Just going to say that just for the record. Now we're going to go here. All right. And these numbers, again, these are numbers a little bit old. This is 2019. Now, again, the census is going around door to door, making sure some folks are filling it out. So it's 44,000 on here. Okay. Right. So again, I don't believe this number entirety. I think it's higher. So even now that here you go. Can you see the screen? Everybody put a 1 in the comments if you can see the screen. You should see off to the right-hand side, medium incomes, of course, and off to the right-hand side, population distribution. Now, in the west of the United States, which goes from Nevada to California, we are 9% out there. In the south, we're 58%. In the Midwest, we're 17%. In the Northeast, 16%. Okay. Now, let's scroll on down. We're going to get on down. Now, out of the population, which again, someone corrected me in the chat. Thank you for that. Okay. 22 million females, 20 males. Under the age of 18, there are more Black men under the age of 18 than Black women. Hear me out. They are. Yeah, look at the stats right here. When you get to about 18 to 34, we're equal. When you get to 35 to 64, Black men start dying. 47 to 53%. I know your Uncle Larry told you it's 10 women for 1 man. No, not exactly, Uncle Larry. It's just right here, 47, 53. Okay. All right. Now, when you get to 65 and over, yes, unfortunately, it's 40% men are still alive and 60% women. Okay. So I want you to definitely look over this. Look over it. Don't ignore it. Okay. Now let's see. You see right here, household makeup. You see the pattern there. Cohabitating couples, 6%. Father, no partner, 17%. Mother, no partner, 18%. So see, they're neck and neck there. Then you have married couple, 27%. 21% is woman living alone. Down over here, if you go up here, all the way up here to right here, man living alone. Do you see those numbers? And 9% is other. That means Bonquisha and them are not sharing who's at the house for various reasons. Okay. So I bring this up and I show it to you because even if we cut that number in half, 22 million, we cut it in half and have 11 million. So out of 11 million, 2 million have a baby. Let's see if we all went to school. Okay. That's still 20%, baby. That's not 70% of the whole population having babies. Okay. So I just want to make sure we all understand numbers. Okay. So I just want to show that. I definitely want you to see that. I want you to see over here. Okay. See as you go down, white collar, blue collar, service industry, right? Okay. I want you to definitely check it out. All right. Now, do I think, again, some of these numbers are off? For certain. Now, which brings me to another point of our conversation. The people say, well, Erica, there's so many people who are single and middle class, and how dare you? Now, let's clarify what middle class is in America, because I think that's important. Middle class in America is $40,500, okay, to $122,000 a year, okay? So I don't know about you, but if you just saw the previous page, which I can go back, the median income for us is $41,000. So the level for poverty for a family of four, I think, is $21,000. Yeah. So I get it. People want to promote that there's a lot of middle class men out here, for sure. If $40,000 is middle class where you live, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what city you live in, so I can kind of guess if $40,000 is middle class where you live. I say if you live in California, middle class starts at 100 grand. If you live in Houston, $70,000 probably, right? If you live in Texas. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because originally this show was going to be completely educational on what is a paper millionaire and a liquid millionaire. A lot of comments in Dr. Boyce Watkins' channel, and several of the people are like, well, all these Black people claiming to be millionaires, and they're not. Now, let's clarify. I'm not picking on Meet Kevin. I'm not picking on Stephen Graham. I just want to use it as an example. Meet Kevin has 6 houses, and he's going around saying, I am a multimillionaire. Yes, if you buy houses in California that are $1 million, yes, you're a millionaire. Yes, you're a millionaire. Yeah, you're a millionaire. Now, if I talk to a brother here in Houston and he owns 6 houses in Houston that he bought for 150 to 300 grand, 6 of those houses times 3 is going to make, I know someone's going to be like, Erica, your math is off. I just want to save the show. So let's say he's in Houston. He buys houses for 350,000 times 6. He's only got $2 million. And you go, but Stephen Graham and Meet Kevin's got 6, 7, 8 million. See, baby, they bought a house that was already $1 million in an area that's already $1 million, and they qualified for a loan in an area that's already $1 million. Right? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? So really, the brother who's in here in Houston with 6, or the guy or girl who's got 10 in Detroit, is really the better cash flow position. But it sounds nicer to say I'm a multimillionaire in California because I own 6 rentals. Okay. So I just want to bring that out. Okay. I just want to, do the math here with you. Okay. And again, in 2017, the median income for middle class families, the highest was $61,000. Now, I also, because I love you and I want you to go out in this world with clear knowledge and not bad math. Okay. I posted something that was shared by Kevin Samuels and other people. Thank you for sharing it. You've brought so many delightful people to the channel. Delightful. The number one joke, which I think has been posted 12 times, is all these women who have stepped away from the workplace are joining OnlyFans. You guys are so hilarious. That joke is in there 12 times. Please, for the love of Pete, stop. Okay. But let's really break down. Okay. OnlyFans, $1 billion company. Okay. So OnlyFans has 450,000 accounts. And most of those are celebrities. Okay. So $450,000. I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, I'm putting in the chat so that we can all see this number. OnlyFans accounts. Okay, but the women who went home, and when the article says they went home, it didn't say they were fired. It says they voluntarily had to go home due to the lack of childcare and could not work remote. Okay, so that is 865,000. Okay, went home in September. What was September, everybody? September was school. 40% of childcare centers closed or permanently closing. I've been telling you this for 3 years, that the cost of childcare did not make sense. It was becoming the cost of rent. And if your wife, and according to the stats, on average is only going to make $30,000 a year, it doesn't make sense to pay $3,000 a month and her go make $30,000 a year in childcare. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You can just get her to stay home. But see, we have this culture of, I refuse to go to work and work hard and make money for my family while she sits at home. How dare her? That woman. It's crazy talk, right? So listen, I just want to, and to clarify on OnlyFans, I know I'm a little ADHD. I apologize. 450,000 creators. What they call them, and 30 million users. So there are 30 million people who are quite thirsty, okay, and paying to see people's pictures of themselves. That's the nicest way we can say it, okay? All right. So with that, I just want to clarify those items, okay? I needed them to be clear, okay? Because I think we've have a lot of jokes in the room. And, 1 in 3 men, 19 to 34, live at home with their parents. 1 in 5 women live at home with their parents. So that means, same age group, that means, when people make comments like you probably live at home with your parents, they're not off. They're pretty spot on. Okay. So again, if $40,000 is middle class, why do we have so many people living at home with their parents? Okay. Just a quick one there. Okay. So now that we all have come together in consensus of numbers and facts, because that's what I bring here is numbers and facts. Okay. And I just want to clarify, someone in the chat said that these people could just be applying for marriage licenses and not get married. Sir, why would 2 grown people go down to the courthouse and sit and wait in the middle of COVID and Rona in last year and fill out a license that says they're going to get married in under 30 days and waste their day and their time and they don't get married? I get it. You guys are really looking hard for the confirmation bias that people are out here struggling and nobody's chatting it up. And I'm sorry. I live in Central Texas and every single wedding venue in Central Texas is absolutely booked for the year and threatened to sue our governor if they did not let them have weddings. So yes, everybody's like, Texas, how ridiculous and dangerous you guys are out here in the open. Listen, you're talking about a multi-million-dollar industry. And if you think that, there's no brown people getting married, there are over 4 companies that were started since 2016 called Mutual At a Bride. They actually keep a directory of over 30,000 minority-based companies that help brides, whether it's flowers, cakes, care, whatever, locations and venues, because the demand was increasing. And that includes elopements. I know someone's going to be like, well, what if people are eloping? Yes, sir. People are going to the courthouse and getting married. Yes. Even if you survey some of the audience in the places where you guys frequent, many of their guests are married. When I visited a couple channels and I did an interview over there, I ended up getting about 375 customers from over there, a little bit more, but we'll keep it that number. And out of that 375 customers that I had to do the inventory intake for, about, I'd say 70% of them were either in a serious relationship trying to go get married and were cleaning their credit so they could get married and buy a house. Now you may say, well, Erica, how many of those people got married? I'm not certain. I didn't do follow-up calls. I apologize that I didn't do a follow-up call for that. But most of the men that were there watching these channels are married. They got a lady at home. what you guys are learning now is many of these creators you love so much, they have women that live with them now. Many of them are married to single moms. But I am not that messy, and I won't call names, but you guys should know better by now. But anyway, so anyways, even if you elope, you still have to fill out paperwork. That is correct. All right. Now, why am I doing this show? Wow, there's 334 people here. Thank you for being here. Definitely hit the like button and definitely hit a 1 if you're enjoying the show so far. I try to bring you good topics, good energy, good information because, I was sick the past week. Had the flu. I've never had the flu before in my life. And I thought, oh my God, I have the COVID or I'm dying. One of the two. Never had the flu in my whole life. Been a super healthy kid. And was just shocked at how bad it was. I was just like, somebody help me. I think about 15 of you who mailed me packages, vitamins, to the post office box and our office. We thank every single one of you. I will do a thank you video once we open up everything and make sure there's no bombs in there. And I will thank all of you in a video. So let's keep going, right? Okay, so 44% of the millennials who are millionaires, take a guess what state they live in. Come on, take a guess. You guys know you want to guess which state it is that the 44% of the millennials are in. And I'll wait 30 seconds and let you guys kind of fill that in there. And again, I don't want to at any time act like the economy is not changing and all these communities are very much touched by this. But I want to bring up the level of consciousness in our conversation, especially over here at this channel. I think that I've earned that. I've spent 7 years over here bringing great content, and I want quality folks who are ready to go on to the next part of life over here. Now, I told y'all when I was really sick one day, I just had the cell phone over there, like just scrolling it and letting it play. And several of the people who remain nameless sent me videos of the day. And so I'm like, hey, thanks, O'Shea. I'll go watch it. So I watched some of their stuff and it was like the same people in every live stream, in every show. Now I'm sitting here with a fever under a blanket on a couch, can't move. So I'm just watching the train wreck because I just was, okay? But I kept seeing the same names and same people in every show. And I said, good gracious, I'm sick on the couch. I can't move. You've been at this for 6 hours. I'm at this because I'm just sick and the Theraflu's wearing me out. It's easy to keep getting information and confirmation bias if you go to the same places over and over again. I literally took my other laptop last week and went incognito and found all new channels I've never even heard of, creators I've never heard of. And what happens is you get confirmation bias and some of the same people make the same shows. So it makes our society look worse than it is. But I want to welcome you to outside, right? Where there's events and there's happy hours and there's Eventbrites and there's social events and people. And you can kind of shake out of some of that confirmation bias, okay? So anyway, all right. So I see you guys in here. Thank you. 351. Thank you guys for coming up in here. Yes, number one, you guys have good answers. Number one is California. You guys know, and most of it is the tech hub. It is the San Francisco, Oakland. It is the techity tech folks. Number one is California. Let's give California their clap. California. All right, number 3. Number 4 is actually Florida, and number 5 is Texas. I think number 2 is New York, and number 3 is Massachusetts. So New York, Massachusetts, let's give them their clap off. Godly. But that goes again to my point of Florida and Texas are not as cheap as people think they are in terms of states and finances. But again, when you hear a man in California say, I've got 5 riddles, I'm a multimillionaire, you're like, oh my God, he's a multimillionaire. He's talking about on paper. Because if he had to have it liquid, he'd have to sell the property to get that money. Does everybody get that? I hope we're not losing people. Again, when they had the article about 50% of millennials, I think it's like 48% of millennials own rentals outside of where they live currently. That means people are using roof stock. That means people bought a home in their hometown, then moved to another city. That means several things. Again, these are people who are paper millionaires. On paper, they're a millionaire, but can you go to their house and get 2 million out of them? No. Can you come over here and get 2 million out of me? No. I'd have to sell things. It's called a paper millionaire, and I'm not even upset about it. I tell you guys all the time, it's not killer money, but it's consistent money, right? It's a trickle every day. It may not, some days it may be winning the party, some days I'm not winning the party. And that's what we want to have in our society more. I'm working on a thing. I was going to call it like a Trump something. And then I realized Derek Grace too, he got that already. So I got to call it something else, but I'm working on it where I'm just showing you guys how we've stacked our family. Because, we talk about tax credits and incentives. Well, you can give your family members 13 grand a year. Well, I made it a point of I'm not going to give you 13 grand a year for nothing. I have my nephew 10% in a truck. He's under 13 years old. I have my sister has a truck. My mom has a percentage in a real estate property, another percentage over here. So they're going to earn their percent that they're getting. And I want to teach that and talk about that because I learned that from my white friends. I learned that from my Korean friends, that their parents were starting businesses and putting them on as 10%, 20%, buying properties, putting them on as 10%, 20%. So you look up, this guy on paper is 25 and he's a millionaire, but he's a paper millionaire. It's not liquid. I can go even show you on that course training I want to put together where people are renting these really expensive cars. I was just in Austin. We were downtown. My friend drove me and he was like, look. And so I'm looking out the window and it was literally a boy, probably in a rented Lambo, not certain. And his friends were in an old Toyota Camry with cameras sticking out the window, filming him. They were in front of him and he was rolling slowly down South Congress. Now I'm betting money I'm going to see that commercial somewhere on YouTube or Instagram, but it just shows you the lengths of what people will do to show they're rich. Now, I read all those numbers to you guys because 75 million Americans make $30,000 a year. I share those numbers because I don't want you out here, one, feeling bad, but two, having a realistic expectation of what a middle-class person is and what an upper middle-class person is. And what 1% really means. 1% is $419,000 a year. And that it depends on your state. If you're in South Carolina and you make $285,000 a year, you're 1%. There are several real estate guys, and I'll try to bring him and put him on the chat someday. He's quite busy now making his own content, but he has 100 rental properties. It's all single family. Now, if you listen to Greg Cardone, they're like, "Oh, that's terrible. It's horrible." The guy lives well in a huge house, right? Aisha Saladin. She doesn't even have crazy number of properties, but she's getting 30, 40 grand a month. She said that at the Black Wealth Summit. A month. And that's on top of owning a business. Most of the millionaires you're going to meet, people are business owners. And I get it. Business owners get a bad rep because everybody's running around saying they're a CEO of nothing. They don't have staff. Again, I told y'all earlier this year, I was like, thank God for the PPP. I'm paying out almost 40 grand a month in payroll. Yes, I would love some PPP. And people are like, oh, you don't need no PPP. If you don't have employees, you're not me or not in the same conversation. You dig what I'm saying? If you don't have staff, and that's not even the trucking. That's on the regular Instagram, Facebook, VAs, blog, people. I've done over 72 podcast interviews this year. Somebody on my staff books that. She books that. Okay. She also runs the social media. And so when people sit here and talk about, oh, you ain't no millionaire. I even had a girl we had to fire and she would not return our laptop or her phone because she's like, well, you're a millionaire. Why do you need this stuff back? Baby, it's the principle. I bought that phone. I bought that laptop. And the reason I want to do this show is because I think so many people say, well, a millionaire looks like this. A millionaire is not stunting on the gram all day. That's not what it looks like. If you go to some of these charity events, and this is the number one way I can tell you where someone's mindset is. If I say, hey, come with me to United Way and let's go volunteer the next week. Oh, I ain't got time to do that. I got to go to work. Well, let's volunteer on just the day of giving. Oh, man, I don't want to do that. That's the number one place I meet millionaires. United Way, volunteer events, Chamber of Commerce dinner events, Chamber of Commerce lunch events. Who has time to do lunch from 11:30 to 2:30? Wealthy people. Wealthy people. Right? Again, 80% of trucking companies go under in the first year. I'm still going. I'm on year 2 now. So when people try to talk to me about income, it's important. We want to hear all voices, but are all voices qualified to speak? You tell me. Okay. My only goal here is to bring good information so that many of you can come over into the asset-based economy we have. I really want to start calling it the tech and trade economy because you have about 4 categories. You're going to have tech folks. You're going to have trades. Trades are people that work with their hands and get paid well. You're going to have managers and salespeople. That's it. And people are going to be like, Erica, what about nurses? What about it? That's a trade. What about that's a trade. What about welders? That's a trade. What about drivers? That's a trade. Again, tech or trade. Did you do it with your hands? Did you touch the person's body? That's a trade. Okay. And I'm just doing an oversimplification for the conversation. I know there's somebody who's a nurse probably going to be in the chat like, I can't believe you. Even when I posted about the women going home, there were people saying, well, I'm a nurse. Well, baby, we need you out there. If you can afford the daycare, because nurses are making, some nurses up north are making on average $92,000 a year. If you can afford the daycare, baby, we want you being a nurse. We need you. We short on nurses in San Antonio. We short on nurses everywhere. I watched a whole video about how they're overcharging and the, what do you call them? Certifications are like super expensive in California. Hence, California, instead of reducing the price of those certifications for nurses, started importing hundreds of thousands. By the time they calculated it up, like 100,000 Filipino nurses to cover the shortfall instead of just reducing the price of the certifications. So again, we're going to talk money. Let's talk it. But again, the 1 through 5, there's 394 people here. I thank you for coming to visit me after I've been sick. Okay. I appreciate it. Okay. The power of Theraflu compels me. Thank y'all for being here. Seriously. And thank y'all for the vitamins, the liquid vitamins, the multivitamins, all the stuff you've sent has been amazing. I will do a thank you video. It did make me feel better. I've just never, ever had the flu in my life. So I went to the COVID test and it was negative. So, I know there's so many comments. I will try my hardest to get to you guys' comments. I'm not going to be here all night because I've got Bible study. So, I got to get that Jesus in my life. All right. Everybody's different. I get it. Some of y'all don't like that. But I was bringing this up because I was telling people that, and there's 400 people here watching. Thank y'all for being here tonight. I appreciate all of you. I was telling this girl about 2 years ago, and I think I'm supposed to email Kevin Samuel some documents, but I'll make sure to get that done before I leave. About 2 years ago, I started seeing all these divorced women hop back in and get married. And again, you guys know I go to church, is super wealthy. It's a bunch of tech guys, black tech guys, white tech guys, Hispanic tech guys, tech, and business owners. There's a reason I go to the church. Okay. You dig what I'm saying? So anyway, just saying. Okay. And I started noticing all these single moms, all these divorced moms getting married all of a sudden. They were turning it up, turning it all the way up, the heels, the dresses, everything, getting married. I was like, good gracious. And I said, something's coming. Something's coming. Women who get divorced, oh, I'm free, girl. I'm living my own life. All of a sudden, hopping up, getting married like by the droves. Pressing up on these young single tech guys by the droves. Something's coming. And I started reading more and more articles, and it started talking about how women were having strokes and heart attacks and just going downhill fast from working a certain number of hours a week, which in turn, because I had a surgery, I experienced the damage of that and was like, Erica's cashing out. Erica's getting out of here. Erica's finding her exit path. And how many rentals and how many little side businesses do I need to do that and do it well and have staff run them and get out of here? Because I ain't trying to have no heart attack. I'm going to live a long life. And so with that being said, I started seeing that trend and I started reading more, studying more, and it was coming to the head where who was having children, right? Many people are like, oh, ain't nobody having children. That's not, the birth rates are low. No, the birth rates are low for white people. Okay. There was a 28% increase in Hispanic birth rates, 25% increase in Asian birth rates. There was a 9% increase for Native American birth rates and 8% for Black. It was 2% for white. So again, when people talk to me about stats and numbers, I go, listen, you have to read. And this is no knock to anybody. I want you to seriously comb through the data before you get out here and quote it. Some of y'all are quoting 20-year-old data because somebody said it on their manosphere show or their hot pill or their black pill or their purple pill or their whoever pill. You know, even these women are out here stating these crazy quotes because some woman with a wig on told them to go be a dope gold digger. And I go, boo-boo, what gold are you digging? Ain't no gold out here. If 75 million of them are making, men and women are making 30,000 a year, and then to be qualified as a millionaire, you only got to make 40 grand? Baby, good luck. Good luck. You're going to be in an apartment, married with a baby, living, cutting coupons and cooking dinner every night. That's why I keep telling you about why cookbooks are #1 sellers the past 5 years, because people are now having to learn how to cook. They ain't got no choice. They got to save money. So again, I want you to understand that these numbers are important, and I saw it. So when I started seeing 1 in 4 women are moving and getting out of the workforce, I said, oh, that's true. I know what's happening. Daycare is too high. Cost of insurance is too high. I went to 2 conferences. The #1 thing said at both those conferences were companies were trying to figure out how to cut their healthcare budgets. Who is the most expensive person on a healthcare plan? A man or a woman? Put it in the chat. Who do you think is more expensive on a healthcare plan, a man or a woman? Put it in the chat. I'm going to give it 30 seconds and I'm going to tell you. I'm just want to be honest here. Some of y'all are living in this la-la land. And again, Kevin Samuels and some of these channels where women are calling in are letting you know these bitches crazy. Okay, because I didn't think they was this crazy till I started hearing them. I'm like, oh, y'all crazy for real. I see. But again, who you think costs more on healthcare plan, men or women? Put it out there, because I'm gonna tell you. Ding, 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 ding. Many of y'all are very smart. It's women and pregnant women. Who's more likely to go get their teeth checked? Who's more likely to go to their doctor's appointments? Who's more likely to get their flu shots? Who's more likely to put their children on the plan? Women. Your employer will give health insurance to men all day because men will not go. I know this as a truck company owner. They always ask, do you have benefits, ma'am? And then I started calling around all the truck companies. And again, y'all think I'm joking, but my staff reached out to 1,000 companies, 1,000 people. Some are doing YouTube, some are not. And asked them, hey, you know, how important is healthcare for your workers? Girl, you can get healthcare all you want. These men won't go. Lest they have a heart attack, lest they fall on the floor. Even during COVID, I was talking to people saying, how's your health insurance doing? Is these guys going? He said, I had a guy fall out in a hotel room, wouldn't go to the hotel, wouldn't go to the hospital, has full coverage. I'm paying out the nose and he's passing out in the hotel room because he won't go to the doctor. So again, who's more costly on insurance? It's women. We will go. We will get our benefits. We will go. We're going to go to every doctor's appointment, every dentist appointment, every eye vision appointment, everything. Every time I go to the office and I say I don't have health insurance because I pay cash. I just pay cash all the time. Also, the government, I don't want them tracking me like that. But anyway, I pay cash. And every time I go to the doctor, they be like, you pay cash, baby? I'm like, cash. Okay. And then I go to my dentist. You paying cash? I said, yeah, I'm paying cash. They offer me, hey, do you need a credit line? Do you need this? No, I got cash. What? You got cash? Yeah, I got cash. Then I go, every time I go to appointment. Yeah, I got cash. I got a particular doctor I go to. I pay $600 in cash every time I go. And every time the women be in there like, girl, what you do for a living? I'm like, none of your business. But that's not the point. The point is, who's going to get those benefits? Women. Who's going to keep up with those benefits? Women. So when I went to those 2 conferences, and these were big conferences, I'm not naming them, but there's several out there. Every company was like, how can we cut cost? These daggone women. Now, it used to be women in their mid to late 30s, going into 40s, you was good. You could hire them. They done had their babies. They good. You ain't got to worry about that. But guess what? Now you have millennials who are having these babies late. Now, let me even put it to you this way. I have a friend, try not to say her name. She is one of the 8 managers at one of the leading construction firms here in Austin, Texas. And all 7 other managers are women. Well, guess what happened? They had a company nightmare. All 8 women were pregnant at the same time within months of each other. They made jokes, don't drink the water, Oh my God. One of the leading, biggest construction firms in the state of Texas. All 8 of your women managers that do your budgets, do your stuff, get your cranes, get your schematics, go to the job site, all pregnant at the same time. And this company's a good company. Now listen, my friend get paid well. She was guaranteed 5 months of baby stay-at-home time. 5 months. So what happens to a company when all 8 women are pregnant and all of them have 5 months? That office had to come in there and say, hey, y'all gonna have to rotate. Somebody's gonna have to come in here some days of the week. We cannot have every manager out. So who's gonna do it? Because all these women were in their late 30s. I'm not gonna tell my friend's age, but whenever you're pregnant over 35, they call it geriatric. I'm just gonna tell y'all, no lie. If you go to your doctor and you're over 34 or 35, you are labeled geriatric pregnancy. I shit you not. I didn't believe it till they started showing me on paperwork. But all the women in the office are in their late 30s and all got married. Early 30s, millennials. So this office has a bunch of people who are in their late 30s, all pregnant. So again, when people try to tell me, oh, Erica, I know people. I live in this real world. I go to conferences. I go to seminars. I went on 52 flights last year. Well, yeah, 2021, 2018, 2019. I go out here in the real world. I don't live on this internet, this man's internet, going in the same groups and rooms, arguing with people. I don't have to, because I live out here in the world. I don't have to keep confirmation bias that women are mean because I don't talk to any of them. Half of them you don't even talk to. What are y'all talking about? You guys sound crazy. You sound crazy. These women watching these channels where the woman's telling you to be a gold digger. When's the last time you saw a doctor not at the doctor's office? I'm being real serious. I actually have 3 friends who are doctors. When's the last time you as a woman saw a doctor that wasn't a doctor at your doctor's appointment, at the hospital? These people got y'all gassed up on drunk, and you better let that go. Y'all better get out here in this real world. Okay, now, with that being said, good gracious, there's 440 people in here. I gotta go in a little bit, but you guys hit that like button. I hope you enjoyed the conversation today. Part of what I want to talk to you about is the paper millionaires versus the cash millionaires. I'm putting together a little rollout where this guy asked me, Eric, I have 60 grand. What do I do? Well, I told him, I said, man, if you had 60 grand, I named off a couple stocks that have dividends. And I'm like, you're going to get like $1,100 a month in dividend from that one stock I named for him. One of 3, and it wasn't a crazy interest rate. It was about 8%-ish. And he was like, oh my God, I didn't think about that. Now, here's the conundrum. I told him, listen, you can take this 60, you can go to Cleveland. You could take this 60 and go to Detroit. But then you have to deal with people. People are unpredictable. That just is what it is. You put this 60 in the stock market, it's also unpredictable. But it's having the streams of income that get you to that status of millionaire. A lot of people would just be happy with 100 grand, right? And so when you see all these people out here talking about they're millionaires, I don't want you to be in the inboxes being rude, but I want you to really listen to them. Are they liquid millionaires or are they paper millionaires? Would they have to sell everything tomorrow? And listen, your girl's not throwing stones from a glass house. I'm a paper millionaire. I'm not a liquid. I'd have to sell things. I've had to do that this year just to cash out some people because people are JG Wentworth. They can't wait. They need their money now. And what you learn is I've been doing this freaking 7 years. Been in business 7 years. I have more patience than someone who only had an extra 10K or who only had an extra 20K. I lost 18K on a property. Deal fell through, didn't get it, lost 18K. And everybody's like, oh my God, I'd sue them. I do this, I do that. I go, no, I'm going to not take all my energy fighting for 18K. I'm going to go out and go get another 18K because I'm a business owner. And if I spend all my energy fighting going back, I will waste so much time going forward. But I just had to do this one because a lot of times y'all out here feeling some type of way, and these people are not liquid millionaires. They're not. It's on paper. The FIRE movement. A lot of those people in the FIRE movement are tech people. They own stocks. If you had to hold their wife hostage and say, give me some cash, they couldn't do it. They'd have to go sell something. So I don't want you guys out here acting like, oh man, I can't wait to be a millionaire. Honey, let me tell you, once you hit 400 grand, you're Gucci, baby. I think y'all are underestimating the power of 200 grand, 300 grand. 1% starts at 400 grand. 1% of the United States society, you're at 400 grand, you're there. And part of why I'm bringing this up is I was in a mastermind and 3 or 4 of the people in there been all over YouTube showing how they make all their money from their Shopify site, and they make $1 million from their Shopify site, and their net was $89,000. He ain't gonna do nothing to me. I ain't worried about it, because then he would have to out himself if he came over here and tried to copyright strike this page. I'm not worried about it. But this guy's running around talking, I made $2 million last year. No, baby, you made $89,000. I made more than you by a lot. And so I want you to get out of this kind of thing of where you guys are drunk on the millionaire status. The true status at this point in society, are you in those 4 categories? Are you in a tech? Are you in trades? Are you a manager or a salesperson? And don't knock sales or managers, because sales and managers on average are making $92,000 to $157,000 a year. Go on Indeed.com, go on PayScale, go on these sites. And here's the thing. I brought up the women component to this about women going home is because law firms realized this years ago they couldn't get women in their 30s, even though they were brilliant, they couldn't get them. It was time to go home and have babies because they started so late. Doctors' offices can't keep women going home having babies. Even highly skilled, high-ranking women eventually go home. And I get it. People are saying that women are out here working, but lots of women work. No, the average woman, if you go look at the actual IRS numbers, they're making like 18 grand a year that are married, small numbers. So that tells you that woman that's married is either part-time working or doing seasonal work. The average realtor woman makes $36,000 a year. She could do that by selling 3 houses a year, 4. Depending on the market, she could just sell 1. Well, 2, she'd have to sell 2 because then her broker take fees. But so don't get twisted out here that people are like, all these women are working. No, this is a reset. This is a reset that's coming. And I want you to pay attention. Go look right now on Google how many channels there are women truck drivers. And then inside those women truck drivers, they're talking about how they got to lock their doors and make sure the windows is never open and make sure nobody breaks in on them, and how somebody tried to grab them. It's a dangerous job for a woman, but they're doing it. What does that tell you? There's some economic issues out there. So the reason I bring so many tech people on, and people ask me, Erica, why are you bringing these tech people on? You ain't in tech. Honey, the future is moving. And if you in your house and no one in your house has any kind of tech skills, I feel really scared for you. They're building tech 2 ways: tech for the future and tech for those who don't want to learn it. Again, when I had Kamoy on talking about her tech writing course, the whole point of that is to dumb it down so that an 80-year-old can figure it out. Yeah, who's writing these apps? Who's writing these things? Like, I've had to walk my aunt through Cash App. I've had to walk family members through simple apps. They're building technology for people who will not be participating in that boom, and people who will. And so I want you to pay attention, and I bring these things up so that you will be able to get in the jet stream, because 99% of y'all, and this is no shade, will be at a job. There's nothing wrong with having a side hustle, side business. The fact that I have to convince people on these channels to get an LLC when an LLC is $300 in Texas, $125 in North Carolina. I think it's 90 in VA. Somebody correct me on VA. I'm not certain on VA again. It's $50 in New Mexico, $50 in Mississippi. It's $90 in like Colorado. It's these cheap prices, and people are like, I just don't know if I can spend that money, Erica. I'm like, well, what money you got? You ain't got 50 to get the LLC just to get the business bank account. We got a problem. So 99% of you will be in jobs, and that's okay, but get the most money you can get. If you're a woman and you know your window's 2 to 5 years and you want to exit the workplace, have babies, because the time clock is on us, it's not on guys. Now, there are studies that show when men are over 40, the chances of their babies that they have, even if it's a young woman, come out special needs increases greatly. And you can look that up on Google. Don't take my word for it. You can go on the Google machine. You can go look up fertility doctors and see why you start to see these commercials for want to save your sperm. Yeah, those commercials are starting to come out pretty strong. Why? Because we have this huge generation of late age millennials and Gen Xers who are like, I can have babies till I'm 80. It'd be a special baby. I don't wish it on anybody, but I remember we worked with a girl, beautiful girl, 25, husband, 60, black man, looked young. She had 3 kids, but 2 of the first ones born had autism. And her doctor said, that's rare, baby. That's rare in a family that both kids are on the spectrum. And they said, we're worried about you getting pregnant again. And she's just like so concerned. She's like, no one in my family has this. And we're like, honey, your husband's 60. No knock, no shade, but he's not a young man. That's not young sperm. Just like we talk about dusty old eggs, that's not young sperm. And you have to be aware of the cost of doing things. There's a consequence and a cost. If you're going to have kids older, you need to be able to afford them and be as healthy as you possibly can be in their life. A lot of people, you need to figure out, if you're trying to be a paper millionaire, this is very possible. You can buy 1 house a year for the next 10 years. I don't give a crap what Grant Cardone says. I'll be very blunt. I buy his products. I buy his books. I go to his trainings. I'm going to Miami. I'm taking my team to Miami for one of his trainings. About 4 or 5 people out of the team. You know why? I know everybody wants you to believe it's going to be a renter nation because it's so cheap for apartments to be built. Every single person I've ever met, even when I moved here to Texas, is like, I'm in Texas. I'm going to buy some of this land. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy some land here. I meet guys and girls who work at McDonald's talking about how they need to get their credit together so they can buy some land. I literally had that consult call many years ago, and I was like, y'all work at McDonald's. But together we both make almost 30. So we got money to buy a house. And I said, well, what happens if she wants to go home and have a baby? You're going to have to do something other than McDonald's. You got to be something more than an assistant manager. So again, the paper millionaire thing, we can work those numbers. I want to put that in a training because I think it's important for y'all to demystify what is a millionaire. People act like this is so unrealistic. It's not unrealistic for a 39-year-old man to be a millionaire. It's just if he's made the right decisions. I'm going to say this, and I don't want any disrespect. I have to say it. I have several friends who are in tech, and they've been making $100,000 to $120,000 since they were 22 years old. They're in their 30s now. There's only so much car you can buy. There's only so much student loan money debt you'd have to pay back. There's only so much vacations and trips you can go on. Most of them are millionaires via stock and via paper. They were millionaires by 30, 32. Now, are they liquid millionaires? No. Paper. They own their house, got lots of stocks, a lot of stock options from their company, debt-free, paid off student loans, paid off cars. But you don't see the excitement for someone being like, I'm in the millionaire engineer. Nobody's excited about that. I'm with a millionaire dentist. Nobody's excited about that, right? Because that doesn't sound as sexy as I'm in tech or I'm in this or I'm in that. And again, so choosing well is important. So I'm gonna read some of your guys' comments and I'm gonna get on out of here. Let's see your guys' comments. You guys have been amazing. No. Listen, BS Holdings. My pops was 53 when I was born. So were many of my accidentally gifted classmates. Sir, see, you're getting in your feelings. I love you. I'm gonna hug you. You're getting in your feelings. I'm just letting you know. The oopsie babies, when you're older, have a higher percentage, just like women over 40, have a higher percentage of having medical issues. They've tested this for years. This isn't some made up woohoo science. This is your husband's 50 and you're 20 and something's wrong with the child. We can't figure out what that could be. You're a young, healthy, viral young woman. Come on now, sir. Get out your feelings. I love you. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you. I appreciate every dollar you want to give. Okay. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. But let's not be in our feelings. Let's be in touch with the real world. But there's several articles on it. Truth ain't sexy. Big money growth. Tech biz owner. Data science, fast money. Into slow money, real estate, and buying brick and mortar businesses, digitized and for land and farming. You can do it. Focus, 90-day sprints. Correct. That's right, Pierre. By 32, many of my friends had made $1 million because they were in tech. 30K is doable living with a family, though. Now, I'm gonna say doable living. Yes. Can you get your child tutoring, the best schools, the best neighborhood? 30K. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm 40 and coming out of parent stage. Congratulations. But I'm a PhD. I mean, and again, I've talked about the people saying they're PhDs. So again, Tyler, I get it. Many people, we're not always going to agree. And the reason I'm going to say this is there's hundreds of jobs surrounding a job. Now, let me clarify. When I say trade, when I say tech, when I say managers and sales, there's a million jobs surrounding one job. Right? If you're in tech, there's a million components that make that company run. Why are companies moving here? Because Tesla's moving here. Not because they do exactly what Tesla do, but they do supplementary things to and for Tesla. Why are thousands of other companies moved here to Austin? Because they do complementary supplemental things like whatever that company needs. Why are there 4,000 capital companies here, investment firms? Because all these engineers will get in the room and be like, man, I really want to do something with my money. But they only have 50K or 60K to do something. So they partner up with people and get investments. So again, y'all cracking me up. As is says, we don't need kids. There's too many people as. So you could fit the whole population of the whole world inside Alaska in skyrise apartments. Go look it up. It's called Overpopulation is a Myth. .com or .org. Go look it up. They've done this multiple times. Whenever someone tells me there's too many people, that reeks of them living in the city and they haven't drove through Wyoming. They haven't drove through Colorado. They haven't drove through Texas. They haven't drove anywhere, haven't really lived outside their city. Let's talk classic hip hop. Definitely go Google the disability rates increase as men age. Go look it up. There's several articles on it. I could do a whole video. I really could if you want. King Frederick said these damsels be in all kind of distress. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You guys are funny. Let's see. Let me go back up some more. Oh, goodness. Massachusetts. Yeah, must be Boston. Boston. Martin C. Tolo. I think I've seen you all over the internet and on Facebook. How many are black people, though? How many black women went home? How many black women have you seen complaining on Facebook about, please let these kids go back to work, school? Lots, sir. Lots. Oh, thank you, Jen. Yep, MIT. Terry, our lovely friend Terry, who we brought on the channel, MIT grad, millionaire. Bebe Rodriguez, 5 rentals with a high mortgage. Broke. Thank you. Listen, go back and listen to Kevin Samuel's videos. He talks about how YouTube is what made the difference. Now, Grant Cardone wasn't wrong when he said, hey, the guy has 6 rentals in California. He ain't making no money. He didn't mean it he meant it the way he meant it because him and Kevin was beefing. But if you really do the math on it, YouTube is what made the difference. Selling the courses is what made the difference. There's a reason why when I'm on this YouTube channel and people, and I'm not knocking people keep inviting me to do seminars and mastermind events and they do stuff. And I go, baby, I'm running a real company. I know some of you, all you do is podcasts and do 42 YouTube videos a day, but I actually have staff. I actually have to make sure they get paid. I actually have real estate I have to manage. I got to go get 2 furnaces in Detroit this week. Got to go get a roof put on. I think we are in love with the ideal of sounding like we're in business. Like, girl, I'm in business. I'm doing seminars and mastermind. Like there are times when I can fly and do stuff. And then there are times where I actually have to run the business. I mean, I can delegate all day, but somebody has to pay for that furnace, right? Auntie, tell them, Auntie, that's just it. Nobody wants to have $1 million in cash. Nobody. If your money's not working, it's dead money. And honestly, that's when the tax man cometheth. Oh, you just sitting there with $1 million? Knock, knock, knock. Tax man cometheth. I can tell you right now, some of our favorite YouTube friends, I can tell they finally made $100 grand a year because they were like, oh, Erica, they tried to charge me $25,000 in taxes. See, you didn't do your YouTube right. You didn't put your EIN number in there. You put that social security number. Oh, baby, they gonna get that money. D, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, thanks for the advice. You and Kevin Samuels changed my life. Keep up the good work. Here's my tithe. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for the shillings. Christopher Catchings, Erica, I currently work in tech and I'm increasing my skills in a boot camp. It's kicking my butt. Can I start investing at 60K or should I focus on making the first 100K? Now, I'm going to tell you something that's here. Listen, engineer life skills. I think, is he on here still on YouTube? I think he's taking a break because his mom had died. He showed, which his accounts, which I think December 30th, we're going to do it in a safe way so that I don't get hacked. Because you guys, someone hacked our office, by the way. But they only got like 1 email account that don't matter. And we cleared up everything and blocked everything up. But when we show things, we want to be careful and be protected. A lot of times these guys, him, for example, put like 30K in Fundrise, 30K in Lending Club, 30K in some other accounts. And it gave him some money, like 5 to 12% interest. What I tell people is you can ladder up the income until you're ready to do a bigger project. But that's how you actually win. It's just putting, I know it's so unpopular from some of our favorite YouTubers to like wait till you just got all these racks on racks on racks. Opportunities come every day. Every day I open up my email, somebody's like, hey, you want to put 10K in this? Hey, you want to put 5K in this? Hey, you want to put 10K in this? I don't expect to hit home runs. I don't go, I'm going to buy this one thing and I'm going to be so rich. That's not how it works. Putting little investments in maybe 5 to 10 focuses is a really helpful thing. And I'm going to break that down somehow in like a PDF or a training and show kind of like the money I put in Lending Club and then the money I put in Fundrise and patch of land. Those pay enough to pay rent and car and insurance and could be pretty happy with it. So I say invest trickles until you make your bigger money. Don't take your eye off the biggest ball. If your ball is trying to make 100K or get increases in your income, you might want to talk with Chris Johnson. He's in tech and he's always been making racks on racks in tech and he never got a degree. Came out of the military and just laterally moving, education, boot camps, moving up. It's possible. Becky, no, it's not about the resources being limited. That's another lie sent to you. Definitely go check out Overpopulation Myth. Right now in Africa, one of the biggest things they're having a problem with is they have these farmers who just would walk hundreds of cows across counties after counties after counties. Well, France and Europe and London came in and bought land and started putting fences up. And these ranchers were like, hey, what are you doing? We always walk through this area. They're walking for miles through Africa, and they walk them back around and they graze. And so the biggest misconception is there's so much food in America. We're paying farmers not to farm. We're paying farmers not to farm. We just had 100 dairy farms lose their contracts because dairy milk is so honestly out of fashion and isn't good for us, honestly, long term mucus production, that we have all this oat milk, almond farms, which is a big hit. It's going to take a big hit next year because of all the fires in California. But almond milk, all these alternative milk choices that are coming in the marketplace and making a ton of money. I posted in the community section about how Oprah and Jay-Z invested in Oakley, which is a milk, oat milk. Very popular. It's a pretty good tasting brand. We've got plenty of resources. We've got so much resources that China came in and bought 22 of the most biggest pork-related farms in the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia. And we still have a surplus of pork in America. And that food's going straight to China. Middle and West America is vacant. I just did a road trip. Oh, yes, honey. A lot of your favorite van life people are going out in the middle of nowhere, buying houses in the middle of nowhere. We have 17 million vacant houses in America. And this is the argument you hear about. Why do we have so many homeless? We have 17 million vacant houses. So when you guys argue with me about, well, can I do wholesaling? Is there still money in that? Is there still money in this? There's 17 million vacant houses. It all location, right? That's what it is. Jessica Hicks focuses on digital e-commerce, the AI, machine learning, data science. Not difficult to get an experience with various IT programs. Good night, all. I always come at the end of these. Thank you, Jessica. Montana's too cold. Sperm thing is more defects than autism. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate the correction. Again, we could do a whole show on it. I don't mind. I just was giving an example of this girl who's very intelligent, very healthy. She was only 25, and we're like, oh my God, we never saw her husband, not knocking her, but finally her husband came in there, and he didn't look old, but he had that Beijing. You ever see black men when they start Beijing and everything? And the black hair was like spray paint. We're like, oh, he old. She's like, he's 60. And I was like, I believe it. Les Brown says PhD is piled high and deep, for sure. Selling courses is lucrative. Starting a blog is lucrative. Mobile notary is very lucrative. There's a lot of money out here to be made. You have to understand this. I'm gonna say this. There is a woman on YouTube, and I forgot her channel, but she's like a homesteader. Her and her husband built a house in like a year. She put together a homeschool course and a box of just items, literally sold out. Literally sold like hundreds and hundreds of boxes. And she just made a video and was like, hey, I get it. You're buying homeschool products. You got a box of stuff. You don't know what to do. There are women going home, y'all. They think about people you know who are germaphobes. They are not putting their babies in these schools. These schools don't even want these babies, okay? These daycare centers, 40% of daycare and childcare centers closing. Y'all, somebody's got to go home. The math is not there. I'll tell you this right now. One of my favorite mechanics, he has 2 baby mamas. 2. One lives in Texas. One lives in St. Louis. I told him they must know times are hard because they both asked him, could they come live with him? And he's getting ready to go buy, not buy a house, but rent a house. And we like, don't tell him because they're going to move in with you. And it's just real out here. So when men are out here in the comments like, women are trying to get me, I'm like, if you ain't got, she won't trying to get you. If you valuable, somebody gonna find you. Okay, trust me, they will find you, sir. If you ain't been got, you're not gonna get got. Okay. YouTube is the ultimate horizontal beast. Yeah. Crypto juggernaut. That's a very interesting name. He says, the problem is people want to start a business, but a business isn't an actual business until you have multiple employees. If you're the only employee, it's just a job. Preach. Let me tell you something. When I spent all that money on training the year before and the year before that, and I was like, why am I in here in this ridiculous hustle culture, burning my fingers to the bone? You know what I started doing? Writing my SOPs. And I put that in the mindset of the CEO course. I start showing them how I wrote SOPs, standard operating procedures. I started just like, when I was laying in here sick, I was voice to texting all the stuff the staff, we got stuff for the staff to do all the way to September 25th of next year. You think I'm joking? I'm like, oh, there shouldn't be a day where your emails are dry, y'all. The lead, I'm a B2B in other businesses lead source magnet. Like, that's all I do all day. Contact, outsource, research. Now, am I the one now doing it? No, I'm not doing it. But I have people on staff that do the outreach every day. So again, crypto juggernaut, that's the truth. People are on, I have a business. You have a job where you work yourself to death. Sir, I'm concerned about you. I'm gonna go ahead and get you out of here. Yeah, you blocked from the channel. I had to block somebody. You're blocked. Some of y'all weird out here. Y'all some weirdos. Listen, Pierre, that's how I know. When they started calling me, I started getting calls from these YouTubers. Erica, they hit me with $25,000 in taxes. I said, well, what did you do? Did you put your social? Yeah. Oh. See, if you run your business like a business, you get paid like a business. If you run it like a hobby, look, YouTube got me one year, but they ain't get me out of that. I'm glad I don't have the Rona either. I've just never in my life had the flu. And my mom and my family were like, we're going to go to Texas and go save Erica. She's sick. I'm like, help me. I'm laying in here sweating, about to pass out. Thank you for the Cash App. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Thank you for the, a bunch of y'all been Cash Apping. I apologize. Dang, I didn't even see. I apologize. I'm not being rude. I'm reading the comments from the phone. Jessica Anderson, thank you for the $50 Cash App. Thank you for your knowledge and support. Thank you, boo boo. You the number one donator today. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Y'all got a lot of comments in here. Good gracious. Hold on. I don't know why I did this on my phone instead of the computer. Now I'm hurting myself. Hurt my eyes. Ooh, y'all got a lot of comments in here. I got to get up out of here. Service jobs. Honey, listen, Miss Muhammad, you know I'm telling you. Don't talk about them numbers. People be in here counting your dollars. Listen, see, Avery, I'm not even gonna read that comment. You ain't gonna get me in that fight. They ain't coming to get me. Mr. Morrison and his crew ain't coming to get me. For $40,000 a month, I could afford to get an Al Sharpton perm touch up. You could. Oh, this shirt. This is my Grandview Freight shirt. This is my company shirt. Ooh, y'all got some good questions in here. Yes, Martin, very true. Mm-hmm. Nothing's wrong with being a paper millionaire. That's the whole crazy thing. I keep trying to tell people. Big Money Grove said, I'm about to split this tech business for the profits. Don't tell the IRS. Listen. Hey, you saw my ad the other day? Thank you, J.B. Jameson. Deed equals true ownership. Facts. Auntie said at least one of those men realized that he gonna need $1 million to marry a 20-year-old. Hey, get it. Jeremiah B said the same thing. How many of them are black? How many of these black people are home? I don't know. Do you need me to go door-to-door survey? Listen, Miss Muhammad, you are correct. Kevin Samuels and Glenn and Cameron both said they were going to get married. Glendon is 52. Samuels is 51. Hey, do it. Do what you do. Do it. Do it. Get it. Q James, a person. Listen, if a person constantly tells you they're a millionaire, be very wary of that. They ain't scared of IRS shit. I don't play them games. I don't play them games. Being a doctor is a trade. It is. ER and ICU nurses make bank. Yeah, my aunt was a ER nurse for a long time. And then one night, the 600-pound lifer came in there. And it was like 8 of them picking that person up. And her knee gave. She said, oh, no, I'm going to administrative. I'm going to go upstairs to the surgical where I ain't got to be doing all that. Vic Springer said, what do I think about drafting? You can make money drafting. Callie has always outsourced nurses. This is true. How long we been on here? Oh, my goodness. Y'all, I'm going to be missing Bible study. Oh, I do not go to Joel Osteen Church or TD Jakes. You said Thomas Dexter. Is that his name? Oh, gosh. Y'all have a lot in here. I can't answer all this stuff. We live in long, stress kills us, and when you factor in children or other domestic things, it's very bad. It is. If I'm trying to figure out how to do a course called 2 to 5 years and you're out. There's a book called 4-Year Retirement. I think I'm gonna do a quote on that. King Frederick $10 super chat. There was a major windstorm in Iowa, knocked down thousands of hectares of corn and soy. They didn't store it in the silos till the prices rose. Had to sell it as animal feed. King Frederick, I did a video on that. I told y'all, listen, Iowa. Like you think North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, you're like bacon. No. Iowa, bacon, pigs, cattle. Bacon's going to go up this fall. Beef is going to go up this fall. Trust me. If you go see the pictures of it, those silos were wrecked. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Cayman K Art, for the $2 super chat. I saw your ad before the CoffeeZilla video. Thank you. Jeremiah B. I don't know. Jeremiah B. I didn't get to interview all the Black people. I apologize. Yes. Another way to make money in tech is to sell products such as Oracle, Azure, Linux, and so forth. I'd rather Cash App you. You are welcome. I bought like almost all your courses and developed my mind to become more business minded. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really great. No stand up. No stand up. Look up Hulk Hogan versus Gawker case. Oh, interesting. I don't get the flu shot ever. I've never gotten the flu in my whole life. I refuse to get the flu shot. I think that's dangerous to put poison in your body. If you notice, I'm very anti-medicine and not anti-medicine. I'm anti-aspirin or taking anything unnecessarily. Like when I've never been sick in my life. My 2 surgery I had was my appendix about to burst and my other surgery. And both times the doctors are like, we put you on this very baby painkiller and you just went out. And I'm like, I just don't take painkiller. So yeah. I don't let these females know anything about my finances. The bank and the IRS are the only ones who know my true and liquid assets. Keep what's in my safe. Okay, good luck, Q James. Oh man. Xanatos Clutch is like brutal today. Xanatos Clutch said the first guys complaining about women going after them on the internet, cough, manosphere, are usually the last ones women are asking anything for in real life. God, that was just golly. You just took their legs out. Good gracious. Just took all the legs out there, but thank you for that. You guys are hilarious. You're funny. You guys are good comedy. Thank you for keeping me like uplifted. I appreciate all the vitamin. I really do. Like everybody who sent a package, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to send thank you cards from our office. It's just we've all been separated and quarantined because one person really did have COVID, and then the other two people were just sick. They just got sick. So I don't know if we all just got the same cold or what. So anyway, all right, you guys, listen. I gotta get out of here. I'm not used to. My voice is really hurting at this point, so I gotta get out of here. This is also true. Farmers in my state had to throw out nearly 40% of produce. Listen, you guys, if I don't never tell you anything in this channel, I talk about making more money so that you can live whatever life you want. I'm going to talk about in that training about how I structured my family, and my nephew who's 13, who has his own grass cutting company, he has 60 yards he does. He literally asked me the other day about LLCs and how I could get his own. And I was like, so like happy moment, like, God, he's 13 and he's ahead of the curve, not behind. And I just want more people to be that way. So I do buy gold and silver, but I'm not going to discuss exactly. The tax lien course is already there. You can go watch the old videos. The live shows we're doing, the 5 we're doing are Arizona, Georgia. No, Arizona, Florida. Are we doing Nebraska and Chicago? We're doing a couple different ones. We let people vote, and you guys will see it in there. Yes, Engineer Truth. His mom died, and he took some time off. So, anyways, I'm sorry. I read the comments out of order, so now it's got me crazy. So, anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Again, this December 30th, if I can be in Cabo, Mexico, I will do a whole this is my year income and review. Very round off numbers for my safety and yours. And I'll do that definitely at the end of the year because I think it's important for you guys to see transparency in trucking. You know, right? I'm giving y'all that. I'm going to give y'all that. Transparency in trucking, transparency in internet business models, the cleaning company, and also the remodeling business that I basically just outsourced everything. The Texas Ground Zero, the delays have come from first time purchasing a big business like this, not a smaller business, not an online business. And so I'll try to give numbers on that one too. If that gets done in the short amount of time, we'll be pouring a lot of money into phase 1 and phase 2, cleaning up the grounds. But it's just one of those things where you learn, and it's a learning curve. So I'll definitely do some videos on that towards the end of the year. I think it's helpful to give people that. So anyways, you guys, I'm exhausted. So I'm going to try to catch the last of Bible study, and they're probably going to look at me like I'm crazy. But yeah.